Rama Hare Hare. So in the 4th chapter of the 2nd canto, first verse, Suta Uvacha, Payasakir iti vachas, Tattva Nishayam Atmana, Upadharya Matim Krishne, Autareya Satim Vyadhat. Suta Goswami, the Maharaj Parikshit son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Shukadeva Goswami, which are all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. That is why Prabhupada says we should read my books every day. Correct? That is the benefit. Now, Parikshit Maharaj was already a great devotee. Therefore, Prabhupada says actually Krishna consciousness only can be discussed amongst devotees. You can't discuss among non-devotees. You're wasting your time. Taste should be there. Just like people have taste about some movie, some hero, actress, you can talk to them about that. They will. If they don't, you can't talk. Similarly, somebody is not a devotee, you cannot talk about Krishna. So it is, therefore we should know when to talk. Otherwise we should be silent. Now even great personalities are actually silent. They open their mouth when they find an audience is ready. Like we have the case of Jadabharata. Whole life he was silent. And there was one opportunity. And the king was scolding him for something. And by his own sweet will, he opened his mouth. And the king was part of the Vedic culture. He could understand, so many people speak, but this person is actually self-realized. He got up from the chariot from where he was scolding that fellow. And he was just holding his chariot, correct? He fell on his feet. Rahuguna, yes. And he said, please instruct me. Who are you? Are you one of the great sages which are rotating in the universe? Who are you? I have never heard anybody speaking like this. So, to be able to recognize is also not easy, a bona fide spiritual master. But first we should become a bona fide disciple. Then you will be able to recognize. Otherwise, many people say, I am looking for a guru. First, are you qualified to be a disciple? Correct? I want to get the education in the best college. First, you should be qualified to get admission, no? Your marks are 32% and you want the best college. Not possible. So similarly, this is also big like a supermarket. Now you want to buy, say, towel. You go to a supermarket. You will get from 20 rupees to 1,000 rupees. Based on a budget you can purchase. Correct? Everything is available. The same way, this is also a person who wants to be cheated. So many cheated gurus also will come and we get cheated. So we have to be therefore very sincere. And the result is here. When you hear a bona fide spiritual master, he was already a devotee, not ordinary. He was already Mahabhagavata. Prabhupada says he's the Nitya Siddha category. Prabhupada in some purpose before put Parikshit Maharaj in the Nitya Siddha category. He was not that, he became a devotee. Already a celebrated great devotee. Born in that family of the Pandavas. Only a fortunate great soul will get a chance to be guided by Pandavas, correct? They were the grandparents and they basically brought him up. And then, even before birth, Ashwatthama threw a Brahmastra to kill this child. And Uttara ran to Krishna that I may die, but a child should survive. And nowadays is the opposite practice, correct? Slightest of doubt on the health of the child, first thing the parents say, kill that child. First thing, slightest doubt, one ear is not there, one hand is not there, kill him. We don't want him. Okay? It's like that, no? Slightest doubt. Or only for a major illness they kill, or for slightest thing. Ear is big,
Whatever detected.
She was any abnormality, they just get rid of him. There was big story. So, but here we see opposite case. Uttara is running to Krishna and she is saying, my Lord, and she is also not ordinary. Uttara is also a great devotee of the Lord. And she runs to the Lord and she says, I may die, but a child should survive. So Krishna takes an opportunity, both survive, and he does something magical. Krishna is there in everybody's heart as Paramatma. So Krishna is standing in front of them. So one expansion of the Lord. Now from where it came, don't ask me. either from Lord Krishna or from the Paramatma. And Krishna is anyway, everywhere. Inside every atom, Krishna is there. So from atom, Krishna came out, from one form of Krishna came out. Paramatma form, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Vishnu form, Narayana form. And he started attacking the heat of the Brahmastra, because Brahmastra had attacked the womb. And not only that, already the child was almost burnt by the Brahmastra. In other places, Prabhupada clarified. Basically, Krishna gave him another birth to take whatever happened. There is some explanation which shows that practically his body was burned because Brahmastra was very powerful. So even then, another point is he was a great Kshatriya. He could, another way to look at it, he could withhold the heat of Brahmastra even as a child in the womb. A mark of a great Kshatriya. Correct? Kshatriya can able to withhold some irritation. Anyway, combining all the things together, he was saved by the Lord in the womb. And when he was in the womb, he saw Lord Krishna in that beautiful form, the Narayana form at that time, saving him. So when he came out of the womb, he was always looking, where is that person who saved me? By that time, Krishna had left this world. Therefore his name became Parikshit. Parikshit means Pariksha. Pariksha आ रही है ना, उसको बोलते हैं परीक्षा. वो हमेशा परीक्षा कर रहे. He was searching, where is that person? And there is nobody equal to Krishna, so he never found anybody in this world. That means he was not an ordinary person. And when he was traveling, Bhagavatam talks about, before of his life, and he became a great king, trained by the Pandavas. Even in the childhood, he used to imitate the pastimes of Lord Krishna. That means he's always on samadhi on Krishna. And he used to see the Pandavas, grandparent worshipping Lord Krishna. He was a great devotee. And when he heard about there is some, not that he was just an enthroned emperor, he was very capable. And he heard there was some, nonsense going somewhere. He was the emperor of the whole world. He took his small army and went. Previously, the kings used to be too powerful. Army was useless. In the sense that when fight used to be between kings. Okay? When Ravana came to fight, actually it was as good as you have to fight with the whole army again. It was equivalent to the whole army alone. You know that. So the kings used to be like that. Parikshit Maharaj is also special genetic engineering, special training. They are not ordinary. Therefore, Krishna did not want to leave this line. Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha are not ordinary actually. The special genetic engineering is there. You can't get those people. They say even they are there now, but they are become completely retrieved themselves from this world, tamasha. And when Kalki will come and destroy all the nonsense people, they will come back. They take back the throne. The point is that in a war, that king was main. Rest was just there. They are there. That's all. Time passed there. Like in the Mahabharata war, if Karna would not have died, he would have alone destroyed the whole Pandava army. Or Arjuna was also alone destroying the whole army. Similar Bhishma and Drona. So other people are there. They're there. That's they're there for time pass. They can't change the course of the war, but these people could individually change the course of the war. So Parikshit Maharaj, you see, Krishna wants to save that lineage. There are many reasons. And another reason is that Krishna wants his devotee to rule this world. And Krishna wanted to save this great devotee because he wants an whole Mahabharata war was for what? To get Yudhishthira Maharaj to rule the world. The whole purpose. Otherwise, Duryodhana was not a bad administrator. He was a good administrator. Country was wealthy, but he was not a devotee of the Lord. So Krishna is not interested in such people. What is the very purpose of creation is to make people devotees. If that the leader is not a devotee, how the rest will follow? What kind of example they will get? And on top of that, he was not only sometimes a very sinful man also. He showed by his activities. So now Krishna wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to rule. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is going. Now he wants another great devotee to rule. And that was Parikshit Maharaj. It's not ordinary. Just like we hear in Bhagavatam, Swayambhuva Manu went to request his son Priyavata to take up the throne. And when he refused, Brahma came down. You have to take up. So you see, the whole culture is such. It's not that they're so qualified that if Devatas are also wanting, the Lord is wanting them to take up the throne. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, more of Senapati will come to spread. They are so qualified. Not that anybody could do. Nobody could do till Prabhupada came down. It's not easy to do. It's not a joke. I try to always understand it. It's not a joke. So now Parikshit Maharaj is just not a joke. He's a great personality, great devotee of the Lord already. And when he comes out in this world, I know he comes to know when he is the emperor of the world, somewhere, some part of the world, regulative principles are being broken. And he is a Kshatriya. He takes up his chariot and goes. And he finds Kali Purusha beating the cow and the bull. He takes his sword out and he says, "You're dead." And the Kali Purusha falls at his feet, trembling. Because if he says you're dead means nobody can stop. You bring 1 crore army, nothing. It's all over. I mean, they have the power also. You know? Today, he said, "Dead, you can kill him." You can't touch him. They're so powerful. You know, whole armies he can alone annihilate. You know, so you're dead. And took out a sword which nobody can face. That sword. And the Kali Purusha, so-called Kali Purusha, king, he was a imposter king. That's why all the kings of Kali Yuga are like that. You challenge them, their legs will shake. That is not a king. If the war is there, Obama hides and he sends the army. That is not the way, sir. You have to be in the front. Prabhupada said it's a very wrong way for the king to declare war and hide. Where is the inspiration for the soldiers to fight? When the king itself is in the front, the soldiers are encouraged. He is giving his life for the cause. So we are also there. But the kings used to be so powerful that if he dies, war is over. War is over. Because the main thing was that person. Today, no. War is declared like 100-year, 200-year wars. The kings keep, they are useless fellows actually. They die or not die, it doesn't make any difference. They cannot change the course of the war. And the things were different at that time. Now you may say we have bigger weapons. No, the weapons they had, you don't have today. How they are fighting with lakhs of people, they have Divya Astras, which they can invoke. They can control matter as mystical ways and do magical things. Okay? These were these personalities. So Parikshit Maharaj is a great personality. So then the Kali Purusha surrenders and he says, actually Kshatriya never surrenders. So Parikshit Maharaj smiles because nobody has been saved from that sword. If he's taken it out, the person died. And this is a bogus Kshatriya because Kshatriya never surrenders. He had respect. He said, "Okay, you're surrendered now, I'll not kill you. What do you want?" He said, "Give me shelter in your kingdom." He said, "No way, get out of my kingdom." He said, "Where do I go out? Whole earth you're ruling." So he begs him. So he said, "Okay, where?" Dyutam Panam Striyam Shuna, where these 4 activities are being done, go. He could not find a place on earth where gambling was going on, where the authorities are struggling to keep away from the hostel. These 4 activities, they still go on. On earth it was not there. That is called good administration. Perfect administration. On earth he could not find a place where the 4 regulative principles were being broken. No intoxication, no gambling, no sex, no meat eating. He could not find a place on earth. That is good administration, correct? Not simply collecting votes and then announcing slaughterhouse, anti-slaughter bill, to be revoked. That's what the chief minister did, First word from his mouth that the previous government made anti-cow slaughter bill, that has been revoked. Removed that. First announcement. And this is the first announcement of Parikshit Maharaj that you are trying to touch a cow, but the Kali Purusha was beating a cow, you are dead. Imagine just a reverse government. We don't want to criticize, but we're comparing. But misfortune is there with us. Kali Yuga means misfortune or leaders are crazy. Okay? And then Parikshit Maharaj, you see whole life there for exemplary. And then he got cursed by a Brahmana boy to death for a very small offense. He had just put a dead snake on the neck of his father. He was very thirsty and he went to the hermitage of a great sage, Samika Rishi, and he asked for water. Samika Rishi could not notice that somebody is asking because he was absorbed. And Parikshit Maharaj, who could bear the heat of Brahmastra in the womb, the same personality, it is unnatural for him to get angry and disturbed because he doesn't have little water. Prabhupada points out, he's not ordinary. Who could bear Brahmastra heat? Correct? He's almost burned by the Brahmastra, but he still survived. The same Kshatriya, what drop of water should not have become disturbed. It is Krishna's will he became disturbed because he wanted Bhagavatam to be spoken. So anyway, the son of the Rishi came to know that the Parikshit Maharaj was so disturbed that he put a dead snake around her father's neck. And father was in Samadhi, was meditating. So he cursed that king. So whoever that fellow king should curse to death. 7 days you should die by a snake bite. Parikshit Maharaj accepted that. He came to know. He was on the way to the palace, but he came to know the curse. Happily accepted the curse. Yes, I deserve this punishment. I've insulted a sage. And now he left his kingdom in the banks of the Ganges, and people have come to advise him. And then Shukdev Goswami comes. So Prabhupada says, both are fortune for him. To be born in a great family of the Pandavas and to get shelter of such a great Acharya as Shukdev Goswami. So Acharya means like Shukdev Goswami, not ordinary person. Ordinary person can do so many work like nurse, nurse is there also. Acharya, what are you talking? Acharya means like of the same category. It cannot be less. Acharya Pasanam. Acharya is worshipped. How could an ordinary man be an Acharya? Just like what we are doing. We on behalf of Prabhupada we can repeat. We can't say we are Acharya. And sometimes people say, Swamiji, can you give me Diksha? Appa, please don't ask such question. There is no guarantee that I will go back to Krishna. How can I guarantee you to take you to Krishna? Correct? अब ये नहीं अब second year में you take my shelter. When I pass, I'll pass you also. What is the guarantee you may fail? We can't take, okay, we can take risk in material life. Spiritual life, we should not take risk. You have to take shelter of a pure devotee of the Lord. Correct? So that is what you do. And now Prabhupada says, let us go to the purpose of a pure devotee. The whole Vedic adventure is to draw our attention entirely into the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. That is the whole Vedic adventure. Means it is pushing us to completely take shelter of Krishna without any diversion. And that is what happens when you read Prabhupada books daily. Our mind, as far as the day goes, get distracted. Sadhana means it is fixed without distraction. When you're chanting or reading, what is happening? The mind is becoming fixed. Correct? What is Prabhupada books doing? From all directions, actually explaining to you that only shelter of Krishna will save you. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharmana Parityajya Mam Ekam. Only me. Nothing else. Prabhupada translate, rascal, only me. Don't put your mind here to devatas or so many sense gratification. Nothing will save you. Only I can save you. So you take my shelter. So that is the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita. 15:15 is a very nice verse. What is the verse? Anybody knows? Yes, here it is. Correct? You can see Sarvasachaham is this Sannivishta. I am situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasachaham, Mata Smriti Jnana Apohanam Cha. And from me, you're getting all the inspiration, knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness I am giving. And then Vedeshu Sarve Aham. Through all the Vedas, you have to know me. Vedanta Krit. I am the compiler of the Vedanta. Veda Videva Chaham. And I know what is the purpose of the Vedas. Take care. We covered things of the shloka and now we go. Atmajaya Sutagara Pashundra Vinabandhuso Raje Chavikale Nityam Viruddham Avatam Jaho Atma body Jaya wife Suta son Agara palace Pashu, horses and elephants. Dravina, treasury house. Bandhusu, unto friends and relatives. Raje, in the kingdom. Cha, also. Avikale, without being disturbed. Nityam, constant. Virudham, deeply rooted. Mamatam, affinity. Jaho, gave up. Maharaj Parikshit, the result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses, elephants, the treasury houses, his friends, relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom.
To become liberated means to become free from Dehatma Buddhi, the illusory attachment for personal bodily coverings and everything connected with the body, and revive children and all other entanglements. One selects a wife for bodily comforts and the result is children. For wife and children, one requires a dwelling place and as such a residential house is also necessary. Animals like horses, elephants, cows and dogs are all household animals. And a householder has to keep them as household paraphernalia. In modern civilization, the horses and elephants have been replaced by cars and conveyances with considerable horsepower. To maintain all the household affairs, one has to increase the bank balance and be careful about treasury house. And in order to display the appearance of material assets, one has to keep good relations with friends and relatives as well as become very careful about maintaining the status quo. This is called material civilization of material attachment. Devotion for Lord Krishna means negation of all material attachments as detailed above. By the great grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was awarded all material amenities and an undisputed kingdom in which to enjoy the undisturbed position of king, but by the grace of the Lord he was able to give up all connections with material attachments. This is the position of a pure devotee. Maharaja Parikshit, due to his natural affection for Lord Krishna as a devotee of the Lord, was always executing his royal duties on behalf of Lord, and as responsible king of the Lord of the world, he was always careful to see the influence of Kali would not enter his kingdom. A devotee of the Lord never thinks of his household furniture as his own, but surrenders everything for the service of the Lord. Thereby, living entities under a devotee's care get the opportunity for God realization by the management of a devotee master. Attachment for household furniture and for Lord Krishna go poorly together. One attachment is the path of darkness and the other attachment is the path of light. Where there is light, there is no darkness, and where there is darkness, there is no light. But an expert devotee can turn everything to the path of light by an attitude of such service to the Lord. And the best example here is Pandavas. Maharaja Yudhishthira and householders like him can turn everything to light by the dovetailing so-called material assets in the service of the Lord, but one who is trained or is unable to turn everything to the service of the Lord, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, must give up all material connections before he can be fit to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. Or in other words, one who has seriously heard Srimad Bhagavatam for even one day, like Maharaja Parikshit, from a fit personality like Sukadeva Goswami, may be able to lose all affinity for material things. There is no utility simply in imitating Maharaja Parikshit and hearing Bhagavatam from professional men, even for 700 years. To take Srimad Bhagavatam as a means of maintaining family expenditure is the grossest type of Namukara offense at the feet of Lord. Sarva Shubha Priya Sampati Brahmata.
See, this is how we have to live first thing. Because any time we have to leave this world. Yesterday we were seeing one video, hell. Very nice video there, hell. Difficult to see, you'll not sleep after you. I put it on the Facebook. And the idea is just that, the whole, at the point when the body is, our subtle senses are being separated from the gross senses. The subtle body is separated from the gross body. At that time, there is a lot of turbulence and a person goes through a lot of trauma. And if he is at that time able to fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, he goes to Vaikuntha. But he still has material desires, then he will go to hell. Correct? Material word is hell only. So basically, go to hell. There should be no desire in the heart for enjoyment. Okay? Somewhere, even though he may go to heaven, material word, Bhadra is all same. Prabhupada says everything is hell here. Nothing good, everything bad. That is material world. And everything good, that is spiritual world. So now what happens is, therefore we should have a sense of detachment. And you may say that Parikshit Maharaj or Yudhishthira Maharaj, they were also royal kings, they were enjoying shows by their life. Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he heard that Krishna has departed from the planet, he walked out of the palace immediately. He didn't wait 1 second, did not even look at his brothers or wife. The shock was so much, he just went to take shelter of Krishna. Correct? We know that. Now look at Parikshit Maharaj. He came to know that he has 7 days remaining. Handed over the throne to his son Janamejaya, walked out of the palace. Hare Krishna. No pain at heart. He came to know, notice, there's no time he has to leave the body now. Completely, they were ruling as a duty, but not in the spirit of enjoyment. Now whatever we have, we develop attachment for that, and we develop a tendency to enjoy that, even pride about that object, correct? But that is not the way to live, because anything in this world can be taken away from you at any moment. We should be ready for that. So Parikshit Maharaj, imagine, the willy attachment, and it is said, the more you are honored, more difficult it is to leave those things. Dishonor is very painful for people who are honored. Correct? Imagine he is a palace, he is a king, and he is sitting after that on the banks of the Ganges in some simple dress. And just few minutes before, he was the king in the palace, so much being honored, palace. And they will, Parikshit Maharaj ki Jai, that's all going on, Jai Jai is going on, you are being worshipped, and you have so many queens, and a whole day your people are busy in your entertainment. Correct? Practically Ishvara is playing like that. Whole day in the palace, songs for the king's pleasure. King says, good, okay. Something is being cooked for his whole day, whole kingdom is working for his pleasure. And here he left it like in 1 second, and is wearing a simple dress, sitting on the banks of the Ganges. It's not possible. Unless you are an extraordinary personality to do that, it is not possible. Similarly, at Bali Maharaj, everything was taken away, it was peaceful. All the Devatas say this is extraordinary. Extraordinary. And not only that, he will be bitten by a snake now. And is still sitting peaceful. Still sitting peaceful at the banks of the Ganges. And all the great sages have come. Just imagine, they say, no, cool. He is really cool. Sitting on the banks of the Ganges now, and is waiting. People are advising him. There is no clarity. He is submitting that I will not take a drop of water now. I will just work for my salvation. And then, what should I do is asking, should I hear about Krishna or something else? Should I fix my mind on Krishna? At that moment, Shukdev Goswami comes and he hears. So even elephants, horses, you get attached to them. Animals also we get attached. In a childhood we had a movie, Safed Hathi. I don't know what. Our age, not your age. Our age also. So elephants also people get attached. There are so many instances. So horses, even animals are source of affection. But everything he became detached because he was such a great devotee. By the grace of the Lord, he was able to give up all connection, material attachment. Okay? Prabhupada is saying, a devotee to the Lord, everything he offers to the Lord, and therefore, if we are, the whole world is under such a devotee master, it is so fortunate. Everybody is engaged in the devotion service. And Prabhupada is saying it's not easy to give up attachment, but even for one day, if you hear from a fit personality like Shukadeva Goswami, you can give up all your attachment. That is the proof you have heard from the right source. Okay. Otherwise, forget about delivering you from attachment. That person is not able to give his own attachment. I told this point many times previously. What you have, you can give. You can't give what you don't have. If your detachment you have, that realization you can give to somebody. Otherwise, you can speak for 1 million hours, you cannot make other person detached from it. Suppose you know you should not smoke cigarette. You are convinced about it, you realize about it. You can convince another person. If you are not, whatever language you speak will not help. He will not be convinced. Somehow that vairagya you cannot transfer. So anything, realization you have in your heart, you can transfer. You don't have, no, you can keep speaking. It will not benefit anybody. You can keep wasting your time and others' time. And Prabhupada is saying, to speak Bhagavatam, the means of maintaining family expenditure, is a great offense. The Pandas, what they do is actually a great offense. They tell you, sit down, sit down, sit down. You see? They force you to sit down and they will tell something for 2 minutes. Now give me 50 rupees for my maintenance. Oh, bah. Nowadays 1,000. $1,000, my God. So like that. But Prabhupada is saying it's a great offense. We should not. If somebody gives a dakshina, that's fine, but you should not ask. Correct? Prabhupada says better die of starvation than beg from somebody. Like that. Prapachachevam evartham